This might sound crazy, but Disney Channel ruined themselves.
I don't watch Disney now, so I don't
Really?
I stopped after they like stopped Raven's Home.
Oh, see, I'm a big Disney Channel girl. I watch not all of the shows that they're still making, but like a couple of them. So
That's why I just like I thought it was like kind of lame now,
Yeah.
you know? 'Cause
I
there's
know.
no, like none of that 2000s fashion.
I know there isn't. We'll get into that, but
Okay. Oh no.
yeah.
I'm Sammy,
And I'm Kaelyn.
and welcome back to our podcast.
Yeah, this is the first episode where we have like a visual and microphones. So hopefully this audio is a little bit better. I hope.
What if it's not?
If it's not, then that's really embarrassing for us.
Then we'll
but-
have to refilm it, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But today, Kaelyn is going to be going over how she believes Disney Channel ruined themselves.
Yeah. Ooh.
Not being caught.
I'm very passionate about Disney Channel. I still watch Disney Channel. I still watch PBS Kids, if we're being honest.
See, that's okay. I still watch like Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
And,
So
like, you know.
I'm very passionate about this, and I think the loss of Disney Channel is really, we're gonna see the impact of like the loss of Disney Channel in like the tweens and like future age groups and generations. And I think we're already seeing this with like the Sephora kids.
That's what because I feel like Disney Channel, they actually taught morals.
Yeah, and it's like they taught morals and they gave kids like an age appropriate role model to look up to, right?
Yeah.
Because now they're like the 10, 11-year-olds, they're not looking up to like, there are no tween influencers either. Like when we were 10, 11,
we had like 7 Supergirls.
Yeah, like 7 Supergirls, Bethany Moda, like My Life is Ava, those people.
Oh, My Life is
But
Ava.
like, there are no tween influencers either.
No.
So now they're looking up to like Alex Earl and the influencers
Yeah, it's like
we
all
look
of
up
the
to.
like all of the influencers now are like teenagers, so the kids are trying to be teenagers.
Exactly, right? And then Disney Channel gave like us like celebrities to look up to that were also age
Hannah
appropriate.
Montana.
Like, yeah, Miley Cyrus, Zendaya, like all of those people. But like now there's not that.
No, there's not. And it's almost like, again, they're trying to grow up too fast and they're trying to be like us. And that makes me wonder, like, if that's the reason there's all these, like, you know, the
Sephora
super
kids.
and the super seniors.
Yeah.
And why, like, 15-year-olds are dating, like, 21-year-olds.
Maybe. Because then the people are like, oh, kids are growing up. But it's like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they're growing up fast because of this. But they're still kids.
Yeah. But let's get into why I think Disney Channel ruined themselves.
Okay.
So Disney Channel has been pumping out stars since its creation, right? But recently there has been a lull in actors going into the channel, which has led into a lack of creation from Disney Channel. So today we're going to dive into why I think that's happening, and I'm going to call it the Disney Channel trap. Okay. I got a little name going.
All right. You have a conspiracy.
I
kinda.
do. So, what is this thing that I'm calling the Disney Channel trap? Well, I think it's this cycle that we've seen to happen to Disney stars in the past, right? So, these Disney Channel actors, they come to the channel at like 15, 16, 17, and they get a TV show, a movie, they get a record deal, and then they'll stay with Disney for like 5+ years until they turn 17, 18, 19, 20, and then age out of the channel, right?
Yeah, like Dove Cameron.
Yeah, like once you like hit a certain age, like you're not going to make
Except-
content for like 10-year-olds, right?
You know China McClain? Mm-hmm.
She's still doing
she's still
Descendants.
going Descendants.
She's still going. Honestly, good for her because I'm like, I'm
She's
glad
probably
she's getting that
making that
bad.
bank.
She is, but I mean, a lot of actors like when you turn 20, you want to move on to something a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
And so once they leave and it's time for them to go to like mainstream media, they have a hard time, right? Because if they decide to turn to acting, then like casting directors and audiences have a hard time seeing them in like the serious roles because they see them as like a Disney actor.
kids.
Yeah. But then if they go like the music route, like Miley Cyrus, like Sabrina Carpenter, a lot of times fans have a hard time taking them seriously, or they don't want to hear their music because like they want to hear the music that they did on the channel, right?
Yeah, like Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, or like even like Hannah Montana, like when Miley Cyrus went like mainstream,
Ball.
yeah, she had to pivot so hard because people wanted to hear Hannah Montana music, not Miley Cyrus.
She wanted to be Miley Cyrus.
Exactly. And so there's like, of course, actors like Zendaya, Sabrina Carpenter, Miley Cyrus, Zac Efron, who have been able to make it mainstream. But there are also just as many actors who like haven't really been able to get their footing, like Lauren Morano or like Ashley Tisdale or Raven Simone. And that's, you know, and that's no shade to them because honestly they're doing much better than I ever will. Like,
yeah,
obviously
they're probably
but
bagged.
yeah, but they like just haven't been able to really get into the mainstream world, right?
Yeah.
When I say like getting into the mainstream world or like being a serious
mainstream
actor,
medium.
yeah, like when I say that, I don't mean they have to be like deep or dramatic works, right? But I'm saying like I would consider like Adam Sandler a mainstream actor, like a serious actor, because he's taken seriously by the industry. But I think a lot of these actors like Lauren Morano, Ashley Tisdale, Raven Simone, like the industry or like even fans don't really take them as a serious actor.
Yeah. Did you you know the girl that played Teddy?
Bridget Mendler, love.
She has a freaking like NASA.
PhD.
She's like doing like her own little space thing.
She's insane. I'm obsessed with Bridget Mendler.
Me too.
I love her.
Her music was great.
Good Luck Charlie, fun fact, is my favorite Disney show ever. Mm-hmm. I can literally quote it. Like when I go back and watch it, I will like quote it. I love that show.
Mine's Waverly Place with Selena Gomez.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So what are the impacts of this like trap on Disney, right? So we saw this Disney Channel trap throughout the 2010s.
Yeah.
And agents and managers saw the effect that Disney Channel had on the careers of past stars. And so instead of bringing their child actors or young actors to Disney Channel to get their start and get the movies and like the TV shows and the record deals, they go straight to mainstream media. So like these are like your McKenna Grace type actors who like never
everything. Girls
love
everything.
her. She's gorgeous too.
She is.
Or they have like their actors go to Disney for a short period of time when they're young. So think like Ariana Greenblatt, right? She was in Barbie. Yeah. She played Sasha. I love her. She's so cute too.
She's our age.
Yeah, she is. I love her.
She's so
I know
pretty.
they're all our age. Like,
and she's so pretty.
She is so pretty. And so like I think in the case of Ariana Greenblatt, who played Daphne on Stuck in the Middle.
Yeah.
Or like August Maturo, he played Augie in Girl Meets World.
Don't get me started on that show.
See, we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them were side characters on Disney shows, and they were like also not like side characters, so they weren't a big part. And they were on the show when they were very young, right? So they left right after they finished their show. So they did their show when they're young, side characters, and then they left, right? And if you argue that they didn't really have a choice on whether or not they wanted to leave because both their shows came at like the tail end of like Disney Channel. But then again, like Ava Colker, who played Ava on Girl Meets World, she was on a TV show on Disney Channel after, and she was like a main character. So, you know. But anyways, that's besides the point. That was just a little rant. But Ariana and August, they were on shows when they were young, and left soon after them being on Disney Channel. And so being on Disney Channel is something that was seen as like age appropriate for them, right? Because it's something that they did it when they were young, like a 5-year-old being on Disney Channel, like that's cute and adorable, and then they can build on that. And they were both able to get like more work as like mainstream actors, right? They're both they're booking jobs right now. Both of them.
Ariana's getting a lot of acting gigs.
And
now.
August, he's doing really well too. I forget what he's in. He was in something recently, but
he's in like actual mainstream, not Disney.
Mm-hmm. And so agents saw the impact of the Disney Channel trap, and they no longer sent their 14, 15, 16-year-old actors to Disney. So they began to send their 10, 11, 12-year-old actors to Disney, right? And because if worse came to worse, because when they were young, like Disney makes sense for your brand, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense when you're 17.
Exactly. And then if they could get their foot in the door and then like move on and get to like mainstream works like Ariana and August did. And if worse came to worse, they could stay with Disney for like however many years, because they would have, if you're 10, you have 8 to 10 years left before you age out of Disney, versus when you're 16, you have 2 to 4 years, right?
Yeah, so worst comes to worst, if they don't make it in mainstream media,
they could like stay at Disney and like milk it and like, you know, get a couple good roles out of that.
Yeah.
And so due to this, Disney can no longer make shows about 15-year-olds in high school, and were instead forced to make shows about 11-year-olds in middle school.
Yeah, no one likes that.
Yeah, and I think this really ruined the channel.
Yeah, because I loved watching shows about like older people, like Austin and Ally. Right. Loved seeing that.
Right, because
Ross Lynch, he made it out.
He did make it out. I love him. And so Disney's target demographic is like 9 to 14-year-old girls.
That was me.
And so part of the fun and a big reason why like a lot of us watch Disney Channel and enjoyed watching Disney Channel is because we were watching people that were older than us, right?
Had crushes on the guys.
Exactly.
And the girls.
Exactly. We didn't know what high school was like, and we had nothing to compare it to.
So we like to see it.
Exactly. Like we were watching like High School Musical, for instance, when we were in elementary school, middle school. We didn't know what high school was like. Like even though we knew like it was unrealistic, we didn't know what high school was like. So it was like still enjoyable, and it didn't feel cheesy or corny, if that makes sense, right?
No, it does. It felt, Well, we had no idea, so we were like, oh, this is how high school is. This is how teenagers act.
It's like we knew like this wasn't exactly how high school was, but we didn't know what high school was to compare it to.
I also like the fact that Disney didn't focus on makeup a lot. Now they do with
they do,
schoolers.
yeah. And I think since like they have shows like Andy Mack, Stuck in the Middle, Girl Meets World, Sydney to the Max. They were all set in middle school, right? But then the middle school audiences that were watching these shows were watching and are like, this doesn't happen in middle school, right? It's like when shows like Ginny and Georgia, like when we watch Ginny and Georgia, we were watching and we're like, even though this is kind of unrealistic, we're still able to enjoy it because it is
would anyone slide in the hallway and start dancing and saying I love you to someone here? No. But the classes, the way they sing class, like, okay, that makes sense.
It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but like the plot lines that they have on Disney Channel shows like now, it's like they're unrealistic, but it's not in a sense that it's like unrealistic and enjoyable. It's like unrealistic and
kind
dramatic.
Annoying.
Yeah, annoying, right?
It's like these kids are like going through like, I stand to this day that the last good movie that's ever been on Disney was Zombies 3.
I love Zombies. They're making a new one.
I know.
So
and Milo Midham is so fun. He was my crush in middle school.
So is Meg Donnelly. I love them. I was doing ASMR. And so going along with this, I think also Disney began to realize that kids were moving on from Disney Channel earlier, and they began watching like young adult dramas instead, right? So like instead of watching Disney Channel when I was in 6th grade, like, I mean, I still watch Disney Channel, but I know a lot of people, they began watching like Friends, Teen Wolf, The Office, 13 Reasons Why. And so in attempts to retain their audience a little longer, I think they tried to make their shows more dramatic to mirror like these plot lines on these more young adult shows, but it just didn't work.
Because it was with kids.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Because in like Ginny and Georgia, where they could make the plot line about how Ginny is sleeping with her best friend and really only friends, twin brother, and like all the repercussions that go with that.
Yeah, but they can't do that on Disney.
Yeah, like in Girl Meets World, they had to make it about Riley being mad that Maya said she's in Riley Town, and then Farkle is getting bullied.
I hate that show. Boy Meets World was 100% better.
I love Boy Meets World. I love it.
Boy Meets World.
But yeah, so like this, like them trying to make the show more dramatic, it just didn't work because they're in middle school, and also Disney Channel is very PG, so they couldn't really do much with it. And like, yeah, it just like doesn't work, right? Because when they're in high school, even on Disney Channel, when the shows were set in high school, they could do a little bit more with high schoolers, right? Because like think about like Go Like Charlie.
Yeah, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, like
she had a bunch of boyfriend drama.
Exactly.
She had like them cheating on her.
And like when you're you could do that in middle school, but it's a little weird.
It's weird that you're making like 12-year-olds date.
And it's like, yeah, because it's like one thing, like, I mean, have a boyfriend, like, I don't know, like they couldn't really do the exact same thing.
Yeah, because like in Good Luck Charlie and Wizards of Waverly Place, Wizards of Waverly Place is mine.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about that all the time. Like they were like 16ish.
Yeah.
And the like older brothers were like 18, 20ish. They were like, they could do both.
Exactly. And like I'm thinking about like the first like episode of Good Luck Charlie, the whole premise was that Teddy had a crush on Spencer.
Yeah.
And she invited him over for a study date. And like while you could do something like that in middle school, it's hard. Like there's another episode of Good Luck Charlie where they were going to a dance, and then Emmett was driving Teddy and Ivy and Spencer to the dance.
Crash, right?
Or no, it was a weird episode. But then like Emmett and Ivy left so that way Spencer and Teddy could have their first kiss in the car.
And they can't do that in middle school.
You can't really do that. And you can't have those like even semi-dramatic plot lines in middle school without it being weird, or like there's very like few plot lines you can do in middle school, if that makes sense.
It's like your best friend told your crush they like you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best you can do.
Yeah. And I mean, I still, like I'm saying, I still watch a lot of those, like the middle school shows. Like I watch Girl Meets World, I watch Annie Mac, I've watched Sydney to the Max.
You know, I won't deny, I bought a season of Annie Mac.
Yeah, and it's cute, and I did enjoy it. Like once I
just realized that this is just gonna be a silly little show I have in the background.
Yeah, but I
wasn't gonna enjoy it.
Right, it was cute, but
give her a minute. Let her sit. All right.
But yeah, like it was cute, like once you like kind of took yourself out of it, but middle schoolers can't really relate to any of that, and if they can, it's like I mean, like, they can't really relate to that because none of that stuff is happening in middle school.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's not to that same degree of that they're trying to make the show to dramatize it.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like, are going to, like, look at the show and be like, these people are annoying. I don't want to be like them. Versus when we were growing up and you were watching Good Luck Charlie, I was watching My Wizard Baby Plays.
I was looking up to them.
I was like, I want to be like Alex. I want to have a relationship with a werewolf like Alex.
Yes.
I want to have a best friend, like Piper, I think her name was.
Yeah, or Harper.
Oops.
But yeah, like, again, like, their middle schoolers aren't, like, because the show's about their peers in a sense, like, it's about people the same age as them, they're not going to look up to them. Versus when they're in high school, like, I'm looking up to Teddy or PJ. Or,
yeah, I want to.
I mean?
Yeah, because because when I was young, I was like, I want to be just like Alex.
Exactly.
I want to find a boyfriend like she is because her boyfriend's treated her well.
Well, and one of them. Anyways.
The werewolf treated her well until he fell in love with a vampire. Spoiler alert.
But anyways, yeah.
I need to rewatch the show.
The bottom line of this is, like, Disney is forced to cast younger actors and make shows about middle schoolers instead of high schoolers. And because there's no admiration from the audience to be like those characters, because they're watching shows about their peers and not people they're looking up to, it kind of ruins a lot of the, like, awe or glamour behind the channel, right? Yeah. And also when they made shows about high schoolers, they were also able to keep some more high schoolers watching, even if they're out of their target audience, because it's like they can kind of relate to the show in a sense, right? Versus like I can't really relate with a middle schooler.
Yeah,
you know,
like my sister watched when Good Luck Charlie was still airing, and like Dog with a Blog. Loved that one. Like my sister still watched it because it was about high school.
Yeah,
and like it wasn't that unrealistic.
Yeah, and I think also even in the shows, like I think Dog with a Blog, I think Avery was in middle school.
Yeah, but
it didn't.
Also had
it didn't come up. Yeah, but it didn't come across like she was in middle school. Like they didn't focus too much on her grade. Versus I think in the later shows, it was like this is middle school. Grade. Yeah, I don't know.
Because she was, her and her stepbrother were like in the same like school yard. So like we were like, oh, he's like 16, which means she has to be somewhere close to the age.
Yeah,
but they never specifically said, oh, middle school is so hard.
And I think in general they kind of left it a little bit more vague because I think in Shake It Up they were 13 when like the show began, like in season 1. They were supposed to be 13, but it was never like beat down that like they were young.
They are in 8th grade.
Yeah, it was just like we just assumed they were older than us because they came across older than us, and I think they aren't able to do that because their actors are young, right?
Yeah.
And I think also it means, again, to try to keep their fleeting audiences, they made their shows more dramatic. But they still have to be PG, so they couldn't really get into the nitty-gritty of it, right? When Ginny and Georgia can talk about Ginny and Marcus hooking up and the drama that comes with that, Girl Meets World or Andy Mack had to talk about Riley or Andy having a crush or Farkle getting bullied.
Don't get me started on whenever they're like, Farkle, you're not autistic.
I was thinking about this when I was writing this. I was like, he doesn't have cancer. If he was diagnosed with autism, that means he had autism the whole time you knew that man. So it would not change absolutely anything, right?
You're just Farkle. You're just Farkly.
They made it seem like he was getting diagnosed with like a terminal illness.
Like cancer.
I was like, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be the same exact person when you met him.
No, I was watching that. I was like, why the heck are you like calling him? He's just Farkly. Like
oh
let him support him with being autistic.
And then Smackle said she had autism, and they were like, oh my god.
Are you
gonna be okay? Like, girl, that episode really made me mad. I can't.
Every time I watch that episode, I was like, they're like, it's okay to have autism, but it's not. You're gonna die.
You don't have autism.
You're gonna die. You don't have autism. Like, you're just Farkle. Like,
what about the kids who have autism that are watching that?
Yeah, like, what are they thinking? Like, hello?
Oh my god.
That show gets me. I hate that show with like everything in me, especially Riley. I hate Riley.
I love Sabrina
Maya.
Carpenter.
I love her.
I'm
sorry. I think Maya and Lucas should have ended up together.
I know.
Although I do love Maya and the older uncle.
No.
It's like, okay, but
he
like
was an
adult. Age gap's wild.
He was an adult, and I will die on that hill.
Wild. I should have been. The lead up with Lucas and Maya was so much better, and it should have been Riley ending up with Farkle, and I stand by that. I think so,
but I also like Farkle and Smackle together because they were like they got each other.
I'm sorry if Riley is only arguing that Farkle isn't autistic because she's autistic, and I stand by that.
Oh, bars. Anyways.
She's like, no, you're not. You can't be because you're just like me.
We could have a whole deep dive about Girl Meets World.
Sorry, let's get back to it.
Anyways.
We should have an episode about this.
So I think there are 3 main ways that like actors and their teams dealt with leaving Disney. So I think they either fell into the trap, they pivoted very hard, or they had this like slow release into the mainstream world. So when actors fall into the trap, this happens because they aren't prepared for like life after Disney, right?
Yeah, like how hard it's gonna be to get jobs.
And so I think example of this are Ashley Tisdale, Raven Simone, Sky Jackson, and Peyton Myers.
Oh yeah.
And I'm categorizing these people as like actors who after Disney have continued acting but haven't really been able to book anything substantial.
Like
yeah.
Like Barbie.
Yeah. Or like even if it doesn't have to be like a mainstream, just like nothing that's like
13 Reasons Why or like Netflix.
Yeah, it's like cause I feel like a lot of them, like Peyton Myers, he hasn't really done anything besides like He's All That, and like I think he had a couple smaller things, but like nothing that you're like okay, like breakout role. Because even like Olivia Holt,
yeah, she had
and Kicking It, she was in like she's done a couple like indie films,
movies. Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah, she's done a couple indie films, but like to me those feel like substantial and something that's like that looks good on a resume.
Yeah, she had like this show too where they're like all in a basement and like she was hooking up with that guy, but her best friend was too, and they did it was a whole thing.
But because actors and their teams aren't ready for the lack of casting after Disney or like haven't learned how to pivot, they fall into the trap of booking jobs similar to what they did on Disney or just not booking anything at all, right?
That's fair.
I have to burp. No, I don't. Okay, sorry. I think notably like Ashley Tisdale and Raven Simone have come back or stayed with Disney. Ashley being on Phineas and Ferb, she's on the new season. Like she's always been on Phineas and Ferb. She voices Candace.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
Oh my god. Is there a new season of Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah, they're making a new season.
That's
she's gonna
stupid.
be back.
I'm not gonna lie. The ending was perfect.
Oh yeah. But and then also Raven being on Raven's Home, which I think this is good because how many bells are there?
Oh my god, there wasn't even a late bell.
I don't know.
Who's doing this?
But I think that them like staying with Disney is kind of good because it would allude to the idea that they had like a good time on Disney Channel, and it's like that's good. And also maybe they just like working on Disney Channel. It's like really low stress because like I know Ashley's a mom. I don't know about Raven, but I don't know.
I don't think Raven is.
I don't remember. I know she's married. But
I love her though. That was a good show.
Yeah. And I think them continuing to do these Disney roles probably isn't helping them book more serious roles.
That is, yeah.
But also, like, maybe they just like being on Disney. So, like, I really don't like it.
I think Ashley might like it.
I think so. And I think Raven might like it, too, because I think it's very, like, simple, low stress.
I think especially Ashley, because I don't know if Raven has kids, but Ashley does.
Yeah.
Like, she probably can bring her kids on set.
Exactly. And she's, like, doing voiceovers. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that bad.
And I also think what's funny, have you seen that clip of Sky Jackson's audition tape for, like, Euphoria? I think they said it was for Euphoria. I didn't really look into it, but it's like she's saying her lines and it's giving very much Disney Channel. Like, you know that, like, you know how Zuri, like, how she acted?
Yeah.
Like, her acting was on Jessie?
She was trying to go on Euphoria.
I think someone said it was on Euphoria, but I don't know if it actually was. But it was just like
going from Jessie to Euphoria.
But it was basically just like an audition tape, right? And her acting just wasn't good because it was giving very much Disney, right? And I think a lot of the younger actors, especially like the actors who were on Disney Channel when they were younger, probably that does not help them because they didn't really learn how to act well.
Because it was the Disney. Remember the Disney-ness?
Yeah, they had like this, Disney had this like brand of acting that is like I don't know how to explain it, but like it was like you know what Disney acting is.
Yeah, when you see it, like if you watch a movie, like I'm sorry, Peyton Myers and He's All That,
very Disney acting.
Yeah, right then and there, like you could tell it was very outwardly very extroverted.
Yeah,
like
it's
very
just like
loud.
It's like you're acting like on top of your body versus like feeling the emotion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like Euphoria, like Zendaya.
Yeah, and I think that's
Sky Jackson. She wanted to be just like Zendaya.
And I think that's a bit of another reason why people are having a hard time to book jobs is because they're being, I said because 12 times.
That's okay.
Because they're young and when they go to learn how to act, that's like kind of the acting they pick up versus like the older actors like Jason Dolly. Like Jason Dolly, he was PJ on Girl Like Charlie.
Love him.
Very great actor, very funny, good comedic timing. But he was also on the show when he was older. You know what I mean?
So that's he had better. He did act a lot better.
Yeah.
Than
like any like
younger,
Gabe. Yeah.
Yeah, like he did act more adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's like kind of another issue with going on the channel young, especially. Yeah. And so another way that people kind of
get out of it, or like the people who like
I just lost my entire train of thought.
I really saw it disappear.
Another way that like people leave Disney is, I think, what I'm gonna call like the hard pivot, right? Yeah. So these are like your Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, Bella Thorne.
You know, Dove Cameron kind of did this.
Kind of.
Like a year after The Last Descendant, she like did Boyfriend, and she was like, she came out as bi, and all that.
Yeah, and I think so. What I mean by this is, it means to not fall into the trap. Actors or musicians or whoever take a drastic new direction, right? And this is usually seen in them being very sexual, or just like very adult, right? And I think what's notable about like this group, Miley, Demi, Bella Thorne, is that their choice to go like quote unquote crazy was very deliberate, right?
Yeah, it was. Definitely Miley Cyrus's.
Yeah, because like
Wrecking Ball,
right? Like stuff like that. Because there are actors like Adam Hicks or Mitchell Musso.
Who are those?
Adam Hicks, he was Win in Lemonade Mouth. And then Mitchell Musso, he was Oliver in Hannah Montana.
Love.
Yeah, so they both got into like drugs and alcohol, and they ended up going to jail.
That happens a lot with Disney.
Exactly. And they fell down a bad path, right? So like, I mean, so their choice to like kind of pivot off like this PG thing was probably not as intentional, right?
It was probably just like, I'm getting into drugs because I'm famous.
Yeah, and so while Miley, Demi, and Bella did get into like drugs and alcohol, and that could have exacerbated like their choice to go again. I don't like to use the word crazy because I feel like that has a negative connotation, but like you know what I mean, like crazy.
It could have. It's how the media portrayed them.
Exactly.
And it could have been also like they didn't mean to get into drugs and alcohol, but while they were hanging out with these people that they needed to hang out with to get out of it.
And I think I think it's like they like all fell down this bad path, but like where Mitchell Musso and Adam Hicks, they kind of like it took them in one direction. Miley, Demi, Bella, they like they fell into drugs and alcohol, but they were also like, okay, I'm gonna stick it to the man. I'm not a Disney girl anymore. I'm an adult. I'm a grown woman. Like
they had a boundary of how far they were willing to take it.
It was very like deliberate that they wanted to move away from Disney. Is what it felt like.
It wasn't like they're trying to like get into drugs. It's like they want to be seen as something else.
I mean, I don't know. Like obviously, like we don't know like why. Like they probably did it to cope. They did it to cope. I'm sure.
There's probably a lot of trauma with Disney.
Yeah, but I think that their reasoning, like they made a choice to like take a pivot away from the child-friendly content, right?
Yeah.
And so then the last way and the ideal way, in my opinion, to leave Disney is what we're going to call like the slow release into mainstream media.
Yeah.
Right? So this is ideal because it allows actors to gain respect and like keep respect of producers or directors as well as fans, right?
Yeah.
Because they slowly age up their content and their roles from more childlike roles to more adult roles, right?
Zendaya.
And examples of this are Zendaya, Sabrina Carpenter, Zac Efron, or like Emily Osment. And so if you look at these actors' discography, you'll notice that their roles kind of increased in like raunchiness or like how adult they are over time.
Yeah.
Like Zendaya, she went from like Shake It Up and Casey Undercover to Spider-Man to The Greatest Showman to like Euphoria and Dune.
I think The Greatest Show was probably her like
exactly. That was like
entrances.
That was a really good pivot for her because like going from Casey Undercover to Spider-Man, that makes sense, right?
It's like high school, still like kind of kiddish, but then Greatest Showman.
That kind of pivoted her to like age her up into the adult world.
Because she was supposed to be kind of like grown up and little, because she was a dancer.
Yeah, exactly. And then Zac Efron was similar. Like he went from High School Musical to Hairspray. Then he had like a bunch of different indie roles and like comedies. And then he went to Baywatch to The Greatest Showman to Firestar and then to Ironclaw, right?
And Ted Bundy.
Yeah, that too. And because these actors like climbing the ranks and like how like the PG rating or like rated R their films are, it allowed audiences to not be stunned when they see actors in these new roles, right?
Yeah, because they're not like, oh my god, they're on Disney, and like slowly
because like it doesn't make sense for Rocky Blue, Zendaya's character on Shake It Up, to play a drug addict. Like you can see MJ or like her character in The Greatest Showman, you can see how that would play like how those characters would be able to play a drug addict. Like it makes sense, right? Versus seeing like someone who's a like 14-year-old character. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like helps fill the gap.
Zac Efron going into Ironclaw, I wouldn't see that.
Right.
But like
now that we saw him in Firestar or The Greatest Showman, like it kind of makes more sense, right?
Yeah, it does make sense.
And then this also allows casting directors and producers to have an easier time seeing the actors in the more dramatic roles, which helps them land more serious roles, and it kind of just plays into each other, right? Because like as you're slowly aging up your content, and then now people are seeing you in that role. Okay, so now you can get this role.
Yeah, so this is even like more deliberate than like the going quote unquote crazy.
Exactly. And so now that we've kind of talked about the Disney Channel trap, let's talk about some other things that I think played into why Disney Channel ruined itself.
Okay.
So for one, their stars don't really have an authentic social media presence, right?
That's true.
So the peak of Disney Channel was really, I just punched the mic. Sorry, guys. The peak.
I keep breathing into it and I laugh.
I know.
I don't go. I don't know if y'all can hear that.
So we'll figure this out eventually.
Yeah.
The peak of Disney Channel really ended when shows like Liv and Maddie, Casey Undercover, Girl Meets World ended in like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
And this was around the time we saw a boom in like social media influencers, right? And this boom in social media is a big reason why Disney Channel began falling off, because like the teens who would watch Disney Channel began to prefer like YouTube and TikTok to get their entertainment.
Yeah.
And like so cable television as a whole has kind of like fallen off.
It has, because of streaming services.
Yeah, exactly, because of streaming services. Like people,
I'd
rather watch a show on demand than watch
a bunch of
20 minutes of commercials and ads. Yeah.
The
and
ads
so
have also got worse on Disney Channel.
But I also think that Disney missed their chance to capitalize off of this, right? Many of their stars for their newer shows like Andy Mack, Raven's Home, Sydney to the Max, had a social media, but it was very like cookie cutter.
They should have let the actual like actors and actresses actually get into it.
Yeah, and like I think a big reason why it was so cookie cutter was like a lot of their parents ran their accounts because they were young. But I think if they were encouraged to show parts of their personality through like doing trends or like posting behind the scenes videos, then that could have brought in an entire new audience, right?
Yeah.
And obviously doing it safely, like practicing internet safety. Don't just like let your kids run around on social media, but like
let them like give them a camera maybe, or follow them around set.
Yeah, or like, and then like obviously like the parents would approve the posts, because like you know how like Kim Kardashian like approves North's posts, similar to that. And I think what was really got me thinking about this is, you know how like the Percy Jackson cast, how they like have their interviews.
I find them so.
I think they're so cute.
Like no, I love them because I saw this thing where we're like, we forget that these people are normal teenagers, and like I saw comments on like Walker Scoble, I think that's how you say his name, where he like comments on his co-stars pages, like things just like Fortnite period. Like actually like doing jokes, and like they actually show their personality. That's why I want to watch it. Why I like
that's
them.
why like I see their interviews, I see like their TikToks that they're posting, and I'm like, I want to watch the show because the cast is so adorable.
Because like I love them, and the dynamic is so cute. Like they're allowed to do a bunch of TikToks.
Yeah, and they're not doing anything crazy either. Like, because I mean, obviously Disney wants to maintain like a PG image because they're making content for kids. So like, obviously they would say like, don't cuss, don't do anything explicit, but show your personality, right? And I think the same, and they could also do this if they're worried about, posting like exploiting the kids on social media, because obviously you don't want to exploit like their stars, or they're worried about like internet safety and stuff like that. There's also like the Young Sheldon cast. They post like on Instagram, they post a lot of like behind the scenes videos, and like they'll make TikToks. And that's why I was like, oh, let me go watch this show, because I was like, this cast looks like they really love each other and like a real family.
That's why I also think that Percy Jackson, what's really like gotten it popularity is Walker Scoble, because he's like has been on mainstream for a while.
Yeah, because he was in was it Deadpool? With
no, not Deadpool. It was
something with Ryan.
He was a younger Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, something with that.
Yeah, and like he was with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds endorsed him. He's like, he's a younger man of me. Ryan Reynolds let him curse in front of him. Like it was all these things where he's already a big star. Also, it's not on Disney Channel. It's on Disney Plus.
Exactly. We'll get into this in a second.
Oh, okay.
And I think also like in 2019 and even now, people were craving authenticity, right?
Yeah.
And so you can get an authentic person from the scripted TV characters on a show. And even when we had like Disney Channel, they had the little commercials that they had with the actors.
Just thinking about that, where it's like, this is my family.
Yeah, like it was more. That's why we liked it, because it felt authentic. But like now, I don't think people really love that, because it was still very scripted.
Yeah, you could tell it was scripted, but I just loved like Sky Jackson. Like, this is my mother.
Yeah, but like back then we ate it up because like it felt authentic. But I think now kids would be like, okay, this is scripted.
Honestly.
Exactly. So I think if they were to utilize their social media a little bit more, then they really could have brought in a new audience and retained an audience better, because then people are not only fans of the actors, but they're fans of the show as well, because they're like, I want to see, because sorry,
we're there.
I had a moment.
Yeah, let's go.
Like I follow Ava Colker. She plays what's her character's name? On Sending to the Max. She's on Sending to the Max, right? And so she would post like behind the scenes videos or like videos with her co-stars. And I would be like, oh, like they're really like, I'm gonna go watch this show because I love Ava Kolker and I like, this looks like fun. And I watched it and it was a cute show, whatever.
I was, from the way they did flashbacks, I thought Sydney to the Max was like a spin-off, and I was trying to find the old show. I was like, where is it? This looks so much better.
Yeah.
I like, that sounds mean, but I was like, why does this look better?
No, yeah, but I really do think if they were like to utilize social media more, they could have done something.
It could have stayed popular.
And so my last point, once they made Disney Plus, they gave up on making good content.
Because Disney Plus came out.
Exactly. So Disney Plus came out in November of 2019, which is right after like the downward spiral of Disney Channel, right? Yeah. And so once they made Disney Plus, you can tell they put less effort into Disney Channel, because the shows themselves are like more or less good. Because Sydney to the Max came out on Disney Channel, but like because no one's watching cable television, like it was also on Disney Plus. And so the shows themselves were like more or less good, apart from like the overdramatic plot lines and the middle school main characters, but they don't really do anything fun anymore. Like they don't do crossovers.
I forgot about crossovers.
They don't do like any of those like fun commercials that we were talking about. They don't do any of like the, you know, like Fa La La days or like the Halloween things. They don't do that anymore.
I loved those.
And again, it's like hard because they're not doing good. It's hard because it's not on cable, so it's kind of hard to do that. Yeah. But I think they really could. They're missing out on something. They could do something so fun with that, especially because we're in the age of social media and like the age of AI. Like they could do some really cool stuff.
They could.
Because I was thinking about this, you know, there's an episode, I don't know what show this was, and I didn't look into it actually, but there's some show I think where like they aired the episode, right, and then fans could go and vote on who they think the main character should end up with, and then the next week they like aired it and were like, oh, she's with this person, but then everyone was mad because they're like, who voted for them, because it was like the bad guy. I don't remember. I just have that like vain memory.
I do remember that.
And I think they could do something very similar. Like they could do an interactive episode or something where like the like fans
how, Netflix does?
or like, you know how like episode and like you could choose like the characters, and if they premiere it live too, they could get a big audience watching it.
I would watch it.
And then they could even put ads, like a 30-second ad while the votes are being tallied, and then they could put like that clip in, like they could film 2 versions of it, and then they could put that clip in kind of like episode, and they could do something like that.
Why are they not hiring you?
I was saying, literally hire me.
You're gonna get like a message from Disney being like, guy, like, girl, you
I know
gotta
you're
get
17, but like,
get on the channel.
I think they could do so much stuff like that. And I think even if they were to utilize Disney Plus more, but they don't, right? They really only had the 2 successful shows on Disney Plus, High School Musical, the musical series, and then now Percy Jackson.
Like Star Wars sometimes.
Yeah.
Or
like
Loki failed, I'm sorry.
Not like I feel like, I guess they did have a couple.
Well, that was Marvel.
Yeah. They had a couple, but nothing like for kids. Like, because like WandaVision, WandaVision was aimed for like, I mean, teens, but like young adults, you know what I mean?
Aimed more for like the Marvel fans. You know what I mean?
Like the only like successful things that they had for like their teen audience was High School Musical, the series and Percy Jackson, right? And I don't understand why they haven't tried to cater towards this audience more. Like, I really don't get it.
I think a lot more people now, since it's not on Disney Channel, it's Disney Plus. Yeah. A lot more people would love to act for Disney.
And because like Olivia Rodrigo, she's doing fantastic now because she got, and obviously she got herself on Bizarre Dark. Bizarre was kind of cute. It was annoying, but it was kind of cute.
I love Bizarre Dark.
But like, she really got her like initial like boost into fame through Disney Plus, right?
She got her like I did not even realize that she was like a good singer until High School Musical the series.
And like Sophia Wiley, she's doing great. And a lot of these actors are like, I just feel like they could do so much with Disney Plus that they're just not.
I also think they should have stopped High School Musical the series, because why is it called High School Musical the series, but they're not doing High School Musical?
Kind of bars, but hey, they brought it back.
They did, and I like it, but people could do a lot more with it. You're right.
And I think that, I think especially because Percy Jackson and High School Musical series, it was one like teens. Like when I watched it in when did it come out? Freshman year, sophomore year, High School Musical.
Yeah,
series.
It was like right after COVID.
Yeah, I was like into it. And I was like I really enjoyed watching it.
I did too. I wanted to watch more.
Exactly. And then you get the older age group, like the millennials, who watched High School Musical, like the original movie.
They want to watch
it because it's the nostalgia. And then like the young middle schoolers, they're able to watch it because it like makes sense. There's nothing like crazy in it either. Like they had a couple cuss words, but like that was about it. And so you got that wide demographic that like people were into it. Same thing with Percy Jackson. Like I want to watch it. It makes like, it was kind of, I don't know. Like I want to watch it because I'm in high school. That makes sense. People who read the Percy Jackson books are going to watch it.
Millennials.
Yeah. And then like young kids are able to watch it too.
Percy Jackson, they didn't act like Disney actors.
Exactly. They were. That scared me so bad.
What the heck? Hello? Were they trying to shut us up?
Like you're loud.
Like guys, settle down. But they don't act like Disney actors. I think that's partly because of Walker Scobell.
And I think because it's on Disney Plus, like they're able to separate it from Disney Channel, and it's like
able to be,
they
like,
can
violence.
they can make it like more serious, right? They can make it how like Netflix produces shows. I really think they need to tap into this and make like a bunch of good quality shows, but like make more that are set in high school, because I think if they can get high school actors, because we're seeing the success of High School Musical, we're seeing the success of Percy Jackson, so I think they're going to be able to get more older teens, make the shows more geared towards like actual high schoolers, like young adults, but still making it PG.
Yeah, in all honesty too, there's a bunch of shows on Disney Plus that are not PG.
Exactly.
That's why we have kid accounts.
Exactly.
Like you can same for Netflix. Like you can make it like only this like account can like see the kids stuff.
And I think if they make it geared towards high school, and like maybe no, like they wouldn't make anything more than like PG-13 for like high schoolers. But like, and then I think High School Musical, like they did a really good job of finding that balance of making it adult enough for high schoolers to want to watch, but not too much where it's like, okay, young elementary school, middle school kids can't watch it, right?
Yeah.
They had kissing, they had a couple cuss words, but like that was about it. You know what I mean?
That's what I think is going to be good about the Percy Jackson series, is because I've read the books.
Oh,
and
come on.
And the slow burn of a bunch of relationships in there are really good, and they get to the point where they're very PG-13. So that's something they could grow on.
And I think Disney Plus really just needs to tap into that and kind of make more like young adult shows that are still PG-13. And I think they could do something really cool.
Honestly, they could like, they're trying to do, they're also, here's my thing. They're also trying to do things, I'll pick that up later. Okay. They're also trying to do things that are like normal, you know? They could easily tap into, like, again, bringing it up, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes.
Type of like fantasy, bring back like, I don't know, make a deal with Barbie or something.
Because like, I mean, there's a show on Disney Channel. It's called like Villains of Valley View. Yeah. I know, really right on the nose with that one. And I think like I think it's an interesting concept, but I think it's like Villains of Valley View.
Why are they trying to be Wizards of Waverly Place?
Girl, it's above me. But I think, again, like a good concept, but I think if they were to, I just think they need to age up their content just a little bit.
Yeah, and they need to like,
to make so it can appeal to a wider audience.
And they need to make it new.
Exactly.
That's a little right on the nose of Wizards of Waverly Place.
And if they wanted to make like something where it's like same universe, like they could do that. Yeah.
They're trying to be like Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon is very successful. Henry Danger.
Yeah, I think they're trying to like keep up with Nickelodeon, but the thing with Nickelodeon is that
they've aged up.
They are still like in early high school. So like from what I've seen, like their shows are still taking place in like freshman year of high school.
Yeah, yet the jokes are more geared towards
adults. Exactly, and that's why people like, because when I was watching like iCarly, my like my sister was the one watching iCarly, but like if I were to watch it with like my older cousins, they would giggle at the jokes when I was little because they got it, I didn't, but I still enjoyed the show, but they enjoyed the jokes.
Like Victorious,
exactly, stuff like that,
with like the thing that's like Beck and Beck and Jade, like, you know, it would allure that they did it, like they hooked up and stuff, but like, so they're like, parents watching would get it,
exactly,
like we would be like, oh, they're so cute together.
And I get Disney doesn't want to do that because they're a little bit more wholesome than Nickelodeon, but again, if they just kind of made their storylines themselves a little bit more mature, with more mature characters, then I think they could really bring it back. Yeah. And I think they could do it with Disney Plus, and I think they have something going for them, but it's just they haven't really tapped into it fully.
I think when our generation is like 20, they're gonna be able to like get us on. Give us jobs, and I think that's when Disney Plus is gonna like
exactly
Disney's gonna like age up again,
make its revival.
It's gonna be us.
Exactly. And I think also I think we need this like tween teen content, because again, like we were saying at the beginning, there's no role models for tweens to look up to.
Like they're looking at
our influencers, right?
Yeah, like Alex Earl,
Monet, Tara Yummy, like all of those people.
And is that something kids should be looking up to?
Right. And it's like, obviously, like those people, like they're fantastic. I love them all.
I look up to Tara Yummy so much. I love Tara Yummy. She's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Every relationship she has, I'm in love with.
Yeah.
But
it's like
she's
when
not
you're
PG-13.
11. Yeah, when you're 11. Could you, like, yeah, we were watching Shane Dawson when we were 11, and that probably wasn't appropriate.
Okay.
Yes, but we were also watching My Life as Ava, Alicia Marie.
Yeah, like
Bethany Moda.
Like, yeah, we were watching, like, my back to school routine. There's not that stuff on, like, YouTube anymore.
Exactly. Then when you watch, like, because I don't know why, like, every once in a while I'll get, like, a bunch of, like, the little tween.
Oh my God,
like, Get Ready With Me is where they're, like, 10. They're, like, get ready with me to go on a play date. And then, and it's, like, they're talking like they're 20.
My age.
But their emotional maturity isn't there. No. And it's because they don't have those like tween influencers to like give them something to like model their behavior after, right? Because when you look up to someone, you mimic their behavior.
That's why I think I'm so much like Alex from
Place, like you mimic the behaviors of those you like you want to shave because you see your dad shave even though you have no facial hair. Like you look up to your dad, so you want to be like them.
And that's what they do with Alex Earl,
right? They want to, but Alex Earl isn't yet appropriate for them to look up to.
Yeah, same for, again, Tara Yummy. My mindset is Tara Yummy.
Yeah.
She's my modern day Alex.
Exactly,
from
truly.
Place. But she's someone that I look up to and how I want to be in like college when I go to party, because she goes like, my parties are crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying that 10-year-olds shouldn't be looking like, yeah, Tara Yummy is a mindset. They shouldn't have the mindset of Tara
exactly
Yummy.
And it's like, and I feel weird, like, police, because if your parents say it's okay, but it's less about, like, the way they're dressing. It's more so about the way they're acting. Right. Because it's like, they don't have, because they're 9 years old, like, they don't have the emotional maturity to understand, like, her actions and when it's, okay to act like that, when it's not okay to act like that.
This one 9-year-old came up to me and my sister and asked my sister how she got her boyfriend, when obviously the 9-year-old said this. Obviously she's prettier.
The 9-year-old's prettier?
Yeah. That's what the 9-year-old said.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, give me your boyfriend because I'm obviously prettier. I was like,
Jack's not a gym. Seems nice, but
he's great, but he's not like a,
he's not like a,
I don't know what, like, I just stood there, I was like, what is happening right now?
No offense to Jack. Jack, I've never met you, but I love you so much.
I love you. You're my brother, man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just a weird comment. Like, because it's not like he's like, I don't know, who's really hot? Like Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, like, no, I found it so I was just stood there like,
okay, queen, go on.
And then I remember, I've been hearing these stories of my, like, friends, like, little sisters that are, like, obsessed with their boyfriends. Like, they're, like, older sisters' boyfriends. I'm like, when my sister had a boyfriend, my sister's 5 years older than me.
And it's like,
and when my sister had her boyfriends, I wasn't obsessed with, like, I didn't want to steal them from her. Did I want to be their best friend? Yeah. Correct. But did I want to date them? No.
And even when you do have a crush with, like you're, like, older people, you're like, okay, let me do a handstand really quick to impress him.
No, that's literally, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. And
I just never had a crush on, like, somebody I knew that was older. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And then, like, I work with kids, and so, like, when I get the, like, 8 to 12-year-old, especially, like, the girls, like, the guys, I feel like it's really sad because I feel like the guys aren't aging up this quickly. Like, they're still boys.
So, like, all these girls, like, they're, like, aging up because they don't have, all the boy influencers that they can still look up to still act like boys.
Exactly.
I love
Mr.
Jake Weber.
Beast.
I love Jake Weber. Mm-hmm. And I love Johnny Gilbert, but they do act like children.
Exactly. But it's like girls are expected to grow quicker. Yeah. And it's really sad. And so now these, like, 8-year-old girls, they're like, okay, like, I need to worry about aging, and I need to make sure I'm dressing cute. Exactly. But it's like,
and they're like,
honey, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, and they're like not looking, because when I was 8, I was looking at the guys in my grade. Mm-hmm. I was scared of those older than me. So I was looking at, like, Alex Palmer. I had a big crush on you if you're listening to this. I was looking at this guy named Alex Palmer.
Okay, hey, Alex.
I was looking at him, I was like, oh, he's so cute. Whereas now they're, like, looking at, like, 8th graders. And they're like, oh, he's so cute. I'm like, dude, you're, like, 9.
And
calm
even,
down.
like, outside of, like, relationship stuff, like, when the kids, like, when these, like, 8 to 12-year-olds walk into my job, they're, like, they're, I don't know, it's like their energy is like they want to be perceived as like older than they are, and it's like they have like their iPad and their Lulu and their Stanley.
I'm sorry. Don't get me. Oh my god, I know we're not supposed to be like telling kids how to dress or anything, and like we didn't like it when our parents told us how to dress. First of all, I wore Justice. I was wearing peace signs and tie-dye. Third of all, I walked into Harris Teeter the other day, and this child was 6 years old. Why was she wearing a sports bra and biker shorts?
See, and it's like on one hand, it's like it's if their parents says it's okay, then that's okay. But I'm also like,
why? I'm sorry. At that point, I'm sorry. With me, when
especially my kids, at 6, I'm like,
that kid. She was like the size of my calf. Like I was like, girl.
At 6, because I feel like at 6, it's like you really don't care. Like you care what you wear, but like not too much.
No, I think my mom just like. I would not tell you what store I wanted to go into. My mom would take me into Justice, and I just grabbed the clothes I like.
It would be one thing if it was like at like 8 or 9 when it's like, but I want to wear this, and it's like, okay, girl, like,
whatever.
At a certain point, but like at 6, I'm like,
no. And I'm just sitting here like, why is this like little girl? And it wasn't like the long biker shorts. It was like booty cheek biker shorts. And I was like, why am I looking at this like 6-year-old's like, why am I able to see this 6-year-old's butt cheeks right now? Yeah,
and it's again like if your parents says okay, then like that's okay. But like also. I want to know the psychology behind it. About why young girls specifically are growing up so fast or feel the need to grow up so fast.
Because little boys are still wearing neon shorts. Swear to God.
And they're still playing Fortnite, and they're still doing like boys will be boys, but like girls are forced to grow up so quick.
Girls will be women.
And I want bars, and I want to know, like, I want to do a study on that. I don't know how we would conduct that.
We should try that though.
We should, because that is so interesting.
It just like I get it. I get, like, if your parents let you, you let them. But in my brain, my parents always said this. They didn't want me to dress any kind of adult way because I'd be perceived an adult. And then perverts, which are there. You might not think they are, but they're there. They're everywhere. They're going to look at you as you are an adult. And they're going to say it's your fault.
Exactly.
And it's not. But it's still the fact that parents should be looking out for their kids.
Exactly. Because at
6 years old.
7, even 15-year-olds, like, at 15, you understand that there's perverts, but you don't understand, like,
that you could be a victim.
Exactly. And, like, to bring race into it, like, black kids are perceived as older, and so, like,
I'm pretty sure they're more likely to be sexually assaulted.
More likely to be sexually assaulted, more likely to face, like, brutality, one, because they're perceived as older, and obviously because of race. But, like, this is so interesting to me.
I don't know what it is. I just know that when I have a kid, they're not going to be dressing like how, like, they're going to dress how I did. I'm sorry, they can go out and they can, if my kid wants to wear biker shorts, they can, but it's going to be the ones that go down the thighs.
Yeah, it's like there's a way to have like, let your kid express their personal style while also protecting them, but also
realizing that my kid is not 10 yet.
Yeah.
She or he does not
Or they.
They do not need to be wearing something that could attract, and this is really bad. This is going to make me sound bad.
Yeah.
They don't need to be wearing something that perverts can see.
And it's like, it's not their
fault.
We shouldn't have to cover up. We should not have to cover up to protect ourselves.
We should be able to dress how I should be able to walk around in a bathing suit and no man can catcall me.
Because it's like, it's not about me, because people will sexually abuse you no matter what you're wearing.
It's not about you.
But it's like, and again, we're not parents. Like, maybe if that does happen later, we'll probably change our opinion about this, because obviously kids will like, I don't want to wear this, so like, whatever. But to me, I'm like, I just would not feel comfortable letting my child. I barely feel comfortable when I leave the gym.
In biker shorts.
Yeah, when I leave the gym, like my spandex and sports bra, I'm like, okay, let me put a
cover up,
sweatshirt on or something.
And, like, again, it's not their fault if someone, like, people are looking, but at the same time, there's nothing I can do to fix it. There's nothing I can do to change the fact that there's always gonna be perverts out there, but there is something I can do about protecting my kid.
Exactly.
And when they turn like 11, you know what? They can wear some crop tops. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they gonna wear a bra to school? No. My parents wouldn't let me wear a bra to school now.
Really?
Yeah, no. Would your parents let you wear a bra to school?
Yeah. Like a training bra.
Yeah, like a sports bra?
Yeah.
Well, my mom does. My dad, you know.
He doesn't want you to wear a bra?
He's to school. Like only.
Oh, I thought you meant like
No.
I thought you meant like undergraduate class. I was like,
no,
yes.
like only.
Oh,
like,
no,
only
no.
Like my parents won't let me out in like that.
Yeah, no.
My dad doesn't let me out in like booty shorts.
Yeah.
And I'm almost 18. So I don't know. Maybe that's just because I have a strict white dad, but that could be the problem.
But that was a little tangent.
Sorry,
there.
We had to get on that tangent.
But that is why I think Disney Channel ruined themselves.
I agree.
You do?
I fully agree. Full-heartedly.
Okay.
And I think they're ruining kids too, which is a big thing, but I think they are.
I'm so interested to see how the fall of Disney Channel is going to impact future generations,
especially Gen Alpha,
exactly,
which are so annoying, by the way.
Yeah, I think the fall of Disney Channel and the rise of social media, I think we're gonna see something sociologically, and I want to study that.
I don't know how much I'm gonna trust.
Yeah.
And it's the millennials, in all honesty, that are raising these Gen Alpha kids to be like this.
And it's because part of it's parenting, part of it is
growing up.
Because we were on social media too,
but we weren't too. Because we were there, not the peak yet. We were at the peak of YouTube and the peak of Disney Channel, but we were at the peak of TikTok.
Right. And I think also because we were on YouTube, it was, I don't know. I think
we had less adult content.
And because we still had our teen influencers.
Yeah, we had less access to adult content. But now as adults continue to make our tween influencers make now adult content.
Like Alicia Marie, when she in 2013 when we were on YouTube, she was making back to school videos, right?
Now she's doing vodka videos.
Yeah, she's vlogging about how her partying, and I love Alicia Marie. I love her. I still watch her.
See,
but she's making videos about her going partying or about her dating life, right? As she should, because she's 30.
Yeah, she can do what she wants now, but that was there's no one else that
there's no one for kids to look up to that's age appropriate.
Yeah, except Mr. Beast, and he's problematic as it is. But in all honesty, but I think he we look at him as problematic because we know what he does. But little boys and little girls that watch them don't. All they see is that he's generous and that he's a good guy.
But even Mr. Beast, because I was saying, people are craving authenticity now.
That is true.
His videos, you don't see his person. You don't know.
It's
you really don't know who Mr. Beast is.
We only know. We kind of know who his
friends are.
Friends are what's his name? Her name now. Sorry. Chris. Sorry.
Yes.
We know her now.
Yeah.
Because she's come out with us.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of the kid influencers, they don't have they do the challenge videos or stuff like that, but they don't. Yeah. Or Eliana Wamsley, she still makes she still makes videos
Piper.
Yeah, Piper. They still make those challenge 24-hour videos.
But it's
but you don't see their personality.
And when you watch it, you can tell it's scripted.
Right. And so kids, they want to see someone who with a personality, which is why they're watching Alex Earl or Tara Yami, because they want to see that.
Tara has a personality.
Exactly.
And I want Tara.
And she shows her personality.
Yeah.
But
in all honesty, I think Tara's a very good person for people to look up to.
I think so too. I think she's so cute.
Because she's a lot of girls are told not to be loud, especially young women are told to be quiet, and Tara Yummy speaks her mind, and she's come out, she's like, yeah, I'm a yapper, I'm very loud, you can't tell me to shut up. And I think that's something that's very good about her.
I think so too. But I think that's all for this episode.
Sorry guys, we
our
little tangent.
So
obviously we love Tara Yummy.
Yeah. But that's all for this week.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.
We will. Let us know if this audio sounds good, if the video is cool. Well, we'll talk later. Anyways,
we'll communicate.
Yeah. But see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.